Everybody, is Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I'm back with the box I just pimped out for a part 2. Let's paint this thing up. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab some cardboard and some dark brown paint. I'm going to use this Chug-a-Lug Burn Umber from Walmart. If you're looking at some of these weird textures and bubbles, it's because I hit this with not just my hot air gun trying to dry it, but I also hit it with a lighter trying to dry it faster. I'm going to get a little bit of metallic, a copper color. I have a dark copper over here called Antique Copper. Let me get a little bit of that because I'm going to be using a combination of these two colors in this. I'm getting my brush soaked. I'm getting that color mix in there. And I'm just doing a really crappy, thin coat. And if there's any of the brown or black showing through from my undercoat, I don't care. A little bit's going to be good. Too much might be terrible, but a little bit's good. Okay. I'll get a little bit of water. I want this to be wet. I don't want this to be too thick. Not enough brown. Too much of my metallic. Just like this. I got 5, 6, or 7 of these. I'm not sure how many for $1.25, and they are like total horses for this kind of work. There's some of that where I didn't paint it real well with my base coat of spray paint, and that's okay. I'm going to come around here and just kind of get the stuff off my brush on the sides down there. I'm going to come back and paint that side in this color too, I believe. All right, so these are all different thicknesses and different amounts of coverage, how good or bad it is. Now we're going to dry it off real quick. I'm going to get some different muted colors and start doing some of the work on this structure so it has some color to it and is a little exciting. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this barn red here. I'm just going to get a little bit of that on my thing. It's kind of wet. That's a good thing. I'm going to get my water, my paint water. I'm going to mix in with that brown. And I'm going to hit some of the big open exposed sides of the underbox with it. And I don't care if I get a little bit up on the other stuff because I'm going to come back and paint that anyways. But see, there's some white showing right there. And you can leave that. That really won't hurt anything. It won't look like anything bad, I don't think. Okay. Something like that in those under parts. And since this is so watered down, hopefully the brown and metallic in the spots where it didn't catch nice will show through a little bit. Hopefully. And make it look kind of neat. Okay. And again, if you get it on the sticky uppy parts, it'll be alright. I've been called some pretty funny names over the years. There was a time where they actually called me Lab Jesus. It's pretty funny. But, I don't know. But, one thing I'm not is a fool. I'm a fool for love, and I'm a fool for romance and fairy tales. But when it comes to my profession and my political and religious beliefs, I like to think that I am very serious and not a fool. I'm educated. I'm not afraid to read or to talk to other people. I'm not afraid to change my opinions if I find out I'm wrong. I don't just find out I'm wrong from somebody telling me I'm wrong. I do some research, obviously, but I can be wrong. All right, now I want to get in here with another piece of cardboard. I'm going to leave that brown one off to my right up there. I can get to it later. And I'm going to get some other colors to work with. I'm going to do a green, and I'm going to need a smaller brush for this job. I'm going to need a green. This is a dark green called Arbor, or no, Kelly green. It's a medium green. Wrong green, but we're the one we're using this one. So I'm going to get a small fan type, like a chisel brush. I'm going to get a little bit of water. I'm going to carefully paint some of these panels with that watered down green. And I'm hoping that it dries very muted and terrible and not vibrant and nice. That's what I'm hoping. I don't want to use it everywhere. I want to use it in some spots. I want this to be kind of interesting, but I don't want it to be overwhelming. Colorful, but not so colorful that it's gagging people. You know. For these sticky uppy pieces made out of the thick cardboard, it's real easy to stay in the lines on this. You just kind of come out to the edge carefully and paint the inside. It works out pretty good. I'm gonna do these ones on the side here with this too. I'm not doing a perfect job. I'm just turning them green. Just using some green. So I got some green. I'll wash my brush. I'm gonna get a dark blue. Alright, I'm gonna get a blue, not a dark blue. This is teal, Tuscan teal. This is a Walmart paint too. A little bit of that. It's pretty wet. Get a little bit of water. I'm gonna do this and that as well. Yeah, I could hold that down and stop that if I wanted to. You're right. I'm going to do this side and that. Just being careful with a crappy thin brush. Something like that. And maybe we'll do a blue panel on this side here. And we're just going to drag it out to the edge carefully, like that. Alright, let's set this down and get a red color. We used a red color. Let's use a brighter red. Something that's going to stick out a little bit. This is Cardinal Crimson. Oh, this is quite vibrant. Thick. Very thick. Get water. Thin this down. It's going to be super bright on here, I'm guessing. Yeah, I watered it down super a lot too. It's going to be some chunks in there. And let's do cool. Okay. I'm just taking my time on these so I don't go out painting out of the lines. I'm going to get my blue and red and mix them and make a hideous purple color to do this one. Just like that. Then I'm going to get my green and mix it in that and make another hideous color. Okay, everything's different and good. Let's get the hot air gun. Pop this thing off and paint this with this color up here. And we might need to add some more to this. It might be too thin to coat this. Yeah, it's too thin. We'll get a little bit more of this brown. Now check this out. See how it's not sticking to that real well? Make sure it's dry. A little bit of fire. And then try it. You might need to hit it a couple times, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay? It's close enough for government work. I have some of this blue here yet. I'm just going to bring that around the edge real quick. Half-ass and sloppy. Did I put that green away? I might do the same thing on the side of the green. A little bit more green. Rinse my brush. And that'll give it a little bit of continuity around the edges. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not sweating or worrying about perfection here. Okay. We're done with these. Let's hit this with some hot air. Our box is looking decent. Let's do one more thing to make it cool. I'm going to get a metallic silver color. They put these paints away. Where do they go? No one knows. I'm going to get a soft brush like from the Dollar Tree, like a makeup brush. Something like this. I'm going to wipe a lot of that off. I'm going to expose some of this metal around the edges and get it all banged up. I'm going to hit around these kind of spots here a little bit extra where it's damaged. I thought there was more damaged spots. There we go. And hopefully that'll pick up some of that texture. A little bit of it, not too much. You don't want to go overboard here. But you don't want it to be, you don't want it to look like you haven't tried to do something with it. I'm going to come back around where I have all these little rivets. Try to really turn those a little more silver, like they're getting banged against stuff more frequently or touched more frequently. Something like that. And you can do more with it from there. So I'm going to get my thin bladed brush out again. It's got really wet. I'm going to get a metallic black. If you don't have metallic black, mix some metallic with some black and get it really wet. My metallic black's super wet. All right, I'm going to get my metallic black. I'm going to mix it with water, and I'm going to gunge this up in here. I'm going to get those scrapes. Then I'm going to use just some of that metallic black around the edges to darken it up some so when it dries. I want to get a little bit inside there. Okay. I'm just going to get my brush and get the rest of this gungy mess and dirty this up in some spots. Especially in these spots here where the bread's a little too vibrant and shit. Just like that. I'm going to get a little more of this going. Get water. Okay, I'm going to gunge around and dirty this up a little bit. Just like that. Nothing too fancy. Any kind of areas where I went over with paint or I don't like the way it looks, you can gunge that. You just gunge the shit out of it. And this simulates it leaking or grease leaking onto it or whatever it may be. And it doesn't have to be anything too spectacular or too fancy. Cool. Alright, so somebody made a comment that they didn't see what I did for my craft. And I don't hold them up, and I'm not good at shooting thumbnails. I don't use a booth or anything. So, before I stop here, let's hold this thing up and just kind of take a generic look at it. All it is a box of some kind of kids' cookie things. And I have just decorated it to be one more piece of scatter junk box kind of stuff in my world. This could be a shipping container if you wanted it to. It could be a part of a building or a vehicle that's wrecked in rubble. And you could do whatever you want with this. There's really no rules and there's no expectations. Just making stuff to populate the table, add line of sight problems like cover and concealment are big line of sight problems, and that's all I was trying to do here. So I'll let this dry. I'm probably not going to clear coat this because I don't see the point. I am going to dab that around a little bit where it's too thick though, so it dries nice. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment. I love comments and all the happy crappy that helps the channel grow. If you like what I'm doing here, showing your support like that helps. I don't beg for money or shit like a lot of these people do. This is not my job. This is a hobby. The minute it becomes a job, I probably won't like it anymore because, you know, I do like my job, but I'd rather be doing stuff like this. If this became my job, I'd probably rather be doing chemistry. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. And I'm not suicidal. I'm joking. Later.